All right, and welcome to Brent's Anime News Corner for January 8th, 2011. Hope your 2011 is going well. So here's the anime and manga news of the week. Quite a lot of interesting stuff going on. First off, the Berserk anime project has been announced will kick off with a film, a theatrical animated film for Berserk. Sometime in 2011, we'll be getting this thing. So besides just having some kind of, TV or OVA or something, it will actually be a film, which is quite interesting. Meanwhile, sort of an odd little note, Gat, the singer, the J-pop singer, will be getting a guest role in the new anime Supernatural coming up. Apparently he was a fan of the original live-action series on which it's based, so he's going to be getting a supporting role in the upcoming anime, which is, good for him. Meanwhile, streaming news, Crunchyroll has announced it'll be simulcasting a whole bunch of anime this season, including Kore wa Zambi desu ka, Wandering Sun, Horo Musuko, Level E, Saint Seiya the Lost Canvas, Mitsudumoe 2, Cardfight Vanguard, Gosek, Dragon Crisis, Beelzebub, and Rio Rainbow Gate. Wow. That seems to be the whole list. So, quite a lot of stuff. So if you want to watch any of that stuff, go to Crunchyroll. It's legitimate. Money actually goes back to the original creators on that one. That's the place to go, if you at all can. Meanwhile, in other streaming news, Funimation has announced they're going to start streaming the original Dragon Ball Z starting January 15th, one episode at a time. So every week they'll release there's another episode of the original Dragon Ball Z. Not quite sure why they're dragging it out that much. Seems odd, but hey, whatever. So DBZ will be streaming on Funimation.com. Meanwhile, Shoji Gato, the author of Full Metal Panic, original light novels of Full Metal Panic, and he worked with Kyoto Animation on the Full Metal Panic anime. He's pushing ahead with a new series now that he's finishing up the storyline for Full Metal Panic. I believe he submitted and sent off finally the script for the final volume, the final light novel volume of Full Metal Panic. So that will be done. He did hint that there is a special project coming up for Full Metal Panic. Could be an anime, who knows? But that would be kind of cool. So who knows? Meanwhile, this is interesting. Weinstein Entertainment has bought 25% of Starz Media. Starz Media owns Manga Entertainment. Now, apparently Weinstein Entertainment is doing this primarily for Starz' ability to distribute movies and so forth and so on. But be curious to see if this has any effect on Manga Entertainment in terms of getting in new money and just new blood and so forth, overseeing their production. So who knows? But that's, good to see more sales and more stuff going on in that world. Moving on to manga news, the digital manga site J-Comi, which Ken Akamatsu developed to essentially publish manga online, advertising supported, especially back catalog stuff. This is pretty cool. They've announced that they're now working with Google, on ads and multinational support. So basically, you'll be able to go onto there, and not only will you get ads that actually are for Americans instead of Japanese or whatever. They're also looking to get actual, multi-character, multinational character support, things like that in there. Akamatsu also says he wants to add some kind of commenting, tagging type feature, so fans can add descriptions on the side of pages and panels and so forth, further explaining complicated terms and explaining things and such like that, so folks can kind of annotate these things as they go along. I'll be curious to see how that goes. That seems to me something that would be pretty easy to either be abused or just to be overused. Just have a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. I'll be curious to see how that works out, but I'm glad to see they're trying. It does seem like a good useful feature if they can figure out how to do it the right way. Also in digital comic news, Dark Horse has announced they'll be offering the first 2 volumes of the legendary samurai manga Lone Wolf and Cub in digital form in January. No real news on how exactly that will come about, but that is a really fundamental, classic manga, not just in anime in America, but also in Japan. So good to see that's going to be available digitally as well. Moving on to gaming news, Studio 4C and Atlas Entertainment have recently showed off some gameplay for their new game Catherine, as well as a Japanese street date. The Western release has not been confirmed. This one might get an 18+ sticker in Tokyo, by the way, but that is there. Stick around afterwards. I will try to show the trailer for that. Meanwhile, Namco Bandai has announced a new Sailor Moon game. That's right, Sailor Moon game for the DS this spring in Italy. It's an Italian game for Sailor Moon. Now, I know Sailor Moon has been very popular in Europe and has a big following and so forth and so on, but okay. And also, N Games has announced a newly licensed free-to-play MMO called Pocky Ninja, featuring characters from both Bleach and Naruto. So that's a pretty big thing, that we've got something out there that has several licensed characters. Will be released in the first quarter of 2011, so in the next couple of months, with an open beta to run soon. Trailers up on YouTube, and you can sign up for the beta at POCKIEninja.com. PockyNinja.com. Moving on to some miscellaneous news, ICV2, sort of a comics-related website, has announced and released details about Eiichiro Oda, who does One Piece, the creator of One Piece. Here's how popular One Piece is. He's currently making $24 million a year off One Piece. $24 million. Oh. That's all. Anyway, moving on. The live-action Gantz film, cool news here. Live-action Gantz film will have a Hollywood premiere. So the actors will be there, and fans can enter a drawing for tickets to actually go and see it. Unfortunately, AnimeNewsNetwork.com is currently down, so I can't go and get a bit more information on that one. But it will be premiering it's starting to come up now. It will be showing on January 20th in Hollywood, so you can head over to AnimeNewsNetwork.com for the for information on how to get your tickets if you are interested. Finally, a follow-on to a previous story. We mentioned earlier that a philanthropic guy had left a bunch of backpacks for kids, and he'd named it. He'd signed himself as the character who became Tiger Mask, this superhero, and this has created another philanthropist. 6 more backpacks were left at a child guidance center in Japan, different place than the earlier place. The anonymous donor left a letter along with there as well, saying that basically he saw the news item about the previous donation and was so moved he decided to give his own donation, and hopes that the Tiger Mask movement will continue to donate more of these backpacks for children. So very sweet, very nice, and good to hear it. So that's all the news fit to print this week, and until next time, thank you very much for joining me.